Hi, we're here on Art Ones with artist Jadelyn Martinez.
Hi guys, I'm Jadelyn.
So excited for you to be here today and to try all these delicious chickens and hot sauces.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I've been seeing, the trend of everyone coming to these, and I think, this has a real potential to take off and be kind of comedic in a good way.
Yeah, we had Pedro Pascal on here. If he could be on here, then you could be on here.
Yeah, I like the same. We're besties.
You're both from San Antonio.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So the first sauce we have here today is pretty mild. It's just some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. So should be easy.
Yeah, that's pretty basic. There's nothing like a Sweet Baby Ray's with the chicken, chicken. It's nothing fancy. You know what I mean?
Okay, so first question. Tell me about your art and some of the mediums, inspirations, just a quick elevator pitch of your art.
Yeah, so I think of myself as a textile-based artist. I work primarily with topics over identity and culture, as well as finding myself through the educational system. As a student with a learning disability, there was a lot of events in my life that really I think about quite often as going through still in college, of course, and then the process of growing up.
It's really nice to hear. I really love your book piece.
Yeah! Oh my god, I was really excited to get that one finished. I've been going through this process of moving to Wisconsin now that I'm going to school at MyAd. I'm taking more time up here, especially being from back home. It's a bit of a drive. People who are from San Antonio, I believe it's quite a long ways away, and so if I'm spending so much time up here, I might as well move. And then in the process of moving, I've been thinking about my connection with family, and then what that means me now being in the Midwest, an area full of white people basically. And it's kind of going it's kind of crazy, just the culture shock that came along with that. So I've been reflecting on me and my dad's relationship, and so that's kind of where my bug piece comes from. It's I realized that I don't really know my dad other than the small parts that he tells me about.
Great. So now our next sauce is the A1 sauce. A1 steak sauce, a little bit more hearty, tangy, or just a bit more kick to it than the Sweet Baby Ray's.
I love A1 sauce. I think about growing up in San Antonio, we have a Whataburger, and they used to have the burger, the A1 thick and hearty, and that was my go-to burger. And when they took it off the menu, I think a part of my heart never healed over from that one.
I've never had Whataburger. Okay, so that wasn't that bad, right? No, it's okay. So next question. How does your ideation phase go on coming up with your art pieces, concepts, deciding materials and all that?
I think a lot of times, truthfully, I come up with my final piece first. I get I don't want to say a vision, but a vision of these ideas that I'm okay, well, I know I want to work with photo this time, and I want to have a repeating pattern. One of my most recent pieces about performative identity, I was okay, I know exactly what I want to do, but then I go through, and then as I'm creating, the process of concept then comes together for me, and it becomes more solidified because I have a general understanding. I'm oh, okay, I want this piece to be about my culture, or I want this piece to be about my queer identity. And so from there, then I'm okay, I have my piece. Now what exactly is the message that is coming through? And it's a lot it's truthfully really intuitive for me. I think it's going one way, and then I have a dream and I wake up and I'm oh my god, I'm so wrong. It is definitely the other way around. And it's just like a process of figuring out what happens with that.
I think that's a good way to work. I know a lot of people who work intuitively. I personally cannot. I need to have a set plan, but I think working intuitively like shows through with your pieces and how like emotional and raw they feel. So next we have red hot buffalo sauce, which I'm not gonna lie, may make me a little sweaty. I'm not the best with heat. So
I definitely think we're starting to get into like a bit more of like the spice.
I think that this is like a pretty big jump from
I do love me a hot sauce. I'm a hot sauce girly. There's like science to it sometimes. It's so like sweet at the same time.
No, it's not that bad. It's definitely making my tongue tingle, but it's not unbearable.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my god, I'm like struggling to breathe. It's just like a
So speaking of your love for hot sauce, how did growing up in San Antonio, Texas shape your life, your artistic practice, your basically just you?
I definitely I love San Antonio and I miss it so much every day. There's so many parts of it that when I first left, I didn't think that I'd miss. In the sense of like growing up, it was so easy for me to see like so many murals like on the way to school or like just driving around town with my mom. And there's these like parts of me that I'm like starting to now reflect on and being like, oh my god, I didn't realize how surrounded I was by like culture and influences. Like I think back on like my childhood a lot in my work and reflecting on the places and even like the parties that I'd go to. Like San Antonio is very much a party city. We have Fiesta every year in April, and that brings in like tourists, but it's like a week-long festival basically where all the town like has a party, and like the atmosphere that creates, especially in your youth, is so impactful to me over like how I think now. I think that's why I really like festivals, like going out and seeing things with people.
So today, this day of filming is actually the 28-year anniversary of Selena Quintanill's death. And coming from Texas, it's such an area where there's, I'm sure, many Selena murals. Can you explain to us how you think you are the reincarnation of Selena Quintanilla? Okay, hear me out. Jadelyn Martinez, know how to sing actually. Jadelyn Martinez, was also born in Texas. Jadelyn Rose Martinez. Rose, first off, Selena's favorite flower, white rose. Coincidence? Como la flor? I don't think so. Fifthly, Jadelyn Martinez, Hispanic. Selena, Hispanic, Mexican American. Things are just adding up. No, but like Selena's influence on my life is really impactful. I think like even here I do a lot of like research-based essays on like Selena Quintanilla and like the importance that she has on like the Chicana like people. I don't like I have Selena in every one of my playlists because there's always a song that fits my vibe. And you know, like I think a lot about her in the sense of like identity, because she wasn't just like just a singer that did the Hana music. Like she was so complex in the genre she listened to, as well as like the influence that she took in, like Janet Jackson and Paula Abdul, and then like thinking about her husband who was really into rock music. I'm sure that she had the same like attraction to that as well. Like she is such like a complex person,
And I think of myself in that way. I think recently I've been thinking of myself as like a digital age hot Cheeto girl, which is like, I said it out loud the other day and I was like, whoa, that just makes so much sense. Like I just get so many influences based off of like the internet, growing up on the internet and like having readily available, unsupervised access to the internet kind of was weird for me. And I hope 12-year-olds are okay nowadays because it's a dangerous world out there. So yeah, like the influence of that Selena has though is extremely impactful to me.
Okay, so next on the hot sauce list we have some sriracha. And I'm not gonna lie, I put this in my eggs sometimes and it's a little too much, but that's just a little bit, yeah. Get all that.
I'm not gonna lie, like sriracha has like this. I like to eat sriracha with tofu, and I like dousing that shit in it, and then I'm like, feels good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So before I messed up, I just usually take the second bite because, you know. My next question for you is, so it's obvious how much you love San Antonio, Texas, and counterculture. So going on 3 years of being in the Midwest for the majority of the year, how do you still find inspiration for your art?
I don't. No, I'm just kidding. I reflect a lot on my childhood, as well as like the way that I go through my process a lot of times is that I have to actively be thinking about things out loud. I'm not like an internal thinker, and I really am not a big fan of writing. So a lot of my like ideas I get based off of my friends, but more so in the way of like talking, communicating with like some of my best friends is how I think of like my most complex ideas. Especially like, I think a beautiful part about making art is that like you talk with the people who are around you, and if you surround yourself with good people, they usually like just want the best for you and will add elements and different perspectives into your work. I know that for me it was really important to find friends and like people of color who understood these like aspects of like culture or like a difference of like white culture, because that was like something that I really struggled with in the beginning, was that my only friends at the time were white, and I felt like my work was like lacking so much like of myself in it because I was trying so hard to be something I wasn't, and I wasn't interested in the questions that I was asking in the beginning of my like journey in college. But now that I'm surrounded with like people that understand my struggles, it's really easy for me to talk about these things and then feel confident enough to make work about it. Like making work where I'm like extremely vulnerable is really nerve-wracking to me. Is it hot now?
Just a little bit. It's like tingling my tongue.
Keep going. But you know, yeah, I absolutely love my friends, and I would not be the like type of artist I was or like person I am without them, because they're amazing people who I love very much.
Speaking of your palate cleanser, do you not like milk or?
I absolutely hate milk. I think milk is disgusting. And people who say that drink milk because you get taller are straight lying, because I've never had a glass of milk actually. And I'm still taller than my mom, so.
Well, I'm so tall. So.
Anyways.
So next here we have a freshly opened Valentina.
This isn't the normal one, that's the extra hot.
Oh, extra, okay. Extra hot.
So I'm excited. I haven't had extra hot Valentina in quite some time. I'm a word for you, if I'm being honest.
No, my tummy's still tingling from the sriracha, so
Oh, word.
I think I gotta take this one all in one bite.
I think so.
It looks scary.
That was cute.
It's so creamy. I love jalapeno. That wasn't that bad. Honestly, sriracha, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like the sriracha was worse.
Maybe it'll kick in like in a few seconds.
Maybe it's the one that burns on the other side.
We'll find out. Find out later. One of my favorite pieces that I got the chance to see of your work is the one titled Word Vomit, which, if you all haven't seen it, it's basically you 3D printed your actual face and had vomit-esque material coming out of it, and it was on brand, very on brand for you. So would you just like talk about that piece a little bit?
Yeah, you know, I definitely, when I was thinking about creating that piece, the thought of like this idea of like, because it's supposed to be like the color of a green screen, which has a name that I don't recall because I'm bad with vocabulary words. And so I was thinking a lot about like this idea that something could be right in front of like the system of a camera, right? Or like digitally. Something can be right in front of it, but then be completely invisible or like go unseen and blend into certain things. And so I think things in that sense like really inspire me to think of like my struggle in the educational system and how a lot of times I was just kind of like passed through without properly learning how to read well or how to write well. I think like I definitely have this like understanding that my education is like extremely important to me in the sense that I have to do it myself and advocate for myself. And so with Word Vomit, I wanted to have this like idea of like dyslexia and like the struggles that come out of it, and kind of like combat the misconceptions of what dyslexia is supposed to be, because it's a learning disorder, but it has a deficit in phonological processing, which is like the way that you process reading a word and turning that into sounds and then how to say it out loud.
That appears to be the rest of the sauces. Not too bad, spice level wise.
Yeah, I'm questioning though, why is there one nugget left?
There's a little surprise finale, which is some bulldog. You know the bulldog noodles, the sauce packet, the one that I can only put in maybe half of.
Yeah, I usually do like 1 or 2 drops of it.
Yeah, we have to douse these in it and eat them. So
Okay.
yeah. You go first.
Douse it.
No. Okay, if you're gonna do that, just take.
I'm just gonna do like I'm gonna bite exactly where the sauce is.
Okay.
Okay. Good.
Okay. You got this. Try to rub it in.
I don't want your freaking sauce.
It's very sweet.
Why is it not spicy?
Maybe just like. No, I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Like I
in
feel
my
it starting.
esophagus.
I feel it in my esophagus, but that's like it. I want more of the burn.
Maybe in the noodles it's just hot noodles, it just makes it seem 10 times worse.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's kind of good.
Okay.
It's not hot. I'm just thirsty.
Okay. I mean,
Oh, okay, it's building up now.
okay. So, final question. So, having looked at sort of what inspires you and what influences you in your arts practice, what is like a takeaway for you into like what are some new realizations that you've seen?
You know, going into like this year, that question has really been like on the top of my mind of like, how do I like describe myself as an artist and how do I like think of myself? And I feel like that's been the like overall question I've been asking. And so but diving more into that is what I've noticed. Like overall, I feel like I'm diving into like my family identity, diving into my cultural identity, diving into like how I make relationships with people, how do I hold relationships with people. I'm like constantly thinking about all these things, and now like being able to put it under one term of being like, who exactly am I, has been really like beneficial to me. I feel like. Oh man, my mouth is like on fire though.
That was a good answer.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm really proud of like the progress I've made though, just like as a person and as an artist. I think that the narrative in my overall identity is making more sense to me, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And I'm excited to see what new things I make, because I feel like I'm only getting better.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone out there is also very excited to see what's So thank you so much for being on Art Ones with us today, and giving us the rundown of your arts practice, but also eating some delicious sauces and everything. And thank you to the crew.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
We wouldn't know what to do without you.
Wouldn't be here.
You guys are the reason we're here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
yeah,
for having me.
Thank you. Yeah.